Welcome back everyone, and if you cannot tell, today we are here in Colchester Zoo ahead of today's game against Colchester United. And yes, I am stood in the meerkat enclosure, and yes, they do all look a little starstruck. No, not because of me, but because Loki Doki or someone else is just off camera. But we do have some news to catch up on before we get into today's game, as well as a couple of games to catch up on. So without further ado, let's head on over to Football Manager 22. Right, so before we jump into our catch-up games, there is a little bit of news I need to go over. Some of this is since last episode, and one of these bits of information is actually from last episode. Completely forgot to mention it. But first of all, the information from last episode, if you haven't noticed already, is Park To Prem has loaned Mark Connolly. Now, Mark Connolly, of course, is our vice-captain, I want to say. Maybe our captain. I think he might have been our... No, vice-captain. I want to say our goalkeeper was our captain. Anyways, doesn't particularly matter. York's Irish central defender Mark Connolly has joined Park To Prem on loan until the end of the season. He's made 38 appearances for us thus far, 12 as a substitute. And well, he's kind of fell out of favour. We've got much better centre-backs at the club. We have Will Adiapan, of course. We then, of course, keep loaning in Shipley, who hopefully we can make a permanent member around here sometime, hopefully, although of course he did have his transfer, as well as a couple of others who can fill in that role. So Connolly, he is out the door, an expensive player. In fact, they are paying his entire wage, which I believe is nearly £2 grand, 1.6. So solid bit of wage off the budget. In fact, we now have about 1.6 left, as well as a transfer budget of about 160-ish thousand to work with. Wish it was million, but we've got that to work with going forward. Probably going to bring in some players during that mid window, or maybe even save it for next season. But on top of that, David Morgan went and picked up an injury just before our first game, and well, that's going to keep him out for a little bit. Is he in fact back? No, he's back. We're all good. So, picked up a little bit of a knock before the first game, which of course is against Salford. And then we have Prince Gyamfi. Now, Prince Gyamfi isn't the new prince we brought in. No, he is our original prince. The young prince himself, out for 4 to 5 weeks. He only just picked that one up, I believe, 3 to 5 weeks. A twisted ankle for the 17-year-old. Now, as you can see, doesn't have the greatest potential, so we're not too worried about him, but just something to pay attention to. Now, an injury we do care about, Sam Vokes. He got injured in the game against Wycombe for 1 to 2 days. Thankfully, it was only a short one with his bruise, so he has been playing in our catch-up games. Then, on top of that, York break league scoring record. Now, this, of course, applies to the last episode, so if you didn't watch last episode, sorry for the spoiler. York's 4-4 draw with Wycombe in League One is a new record scoring league game for us. Our previous one was a 4-2 win against Chester in the Vanarama North back in 2021. But speaking of games, it is of course time to have a little look at those two catch-up games. Our first game sees the battle of two overachieving newly promoted sides, as us in 9th welcomed Salford in 10th to York. However, in the end this finished goalless, even with Salford going down to 10 men 11 minutes from full time. Next up, we then hosted bottom of the league Newport, and it went as you would probably expect, as Goss opened the seal on the Newport goal before Vokes made it 2 before the half. And Williams then grabbed us a third and final goal to seal the victory here at home. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, it is finally time to kick off today's game. We are, of course, playing Colchester, if you haven't heard me say it about 50 times already. But, as you can see, other games around the league, we have Blackpool against Burton Albion. Bolton is at home against Plymouth Argyle, who we are versing in the next episode, by the way. That's Bolton, not Plymouth. We then have Charlton versus Preston. That should be a rather interesting game. I believe Preston came down this year. I can't remember if Charlton has just been staying around this League One level or not. The then, of course, is our game. Now, the one below us is rather interesting as well. We have newly promoted Lincoln going against newly relegated Huddersfield Town. We then have Newport against Cambridge, Northampton versus AFC Wimbledon, Oxford at home against Forest Green. We, of course, want Oxford. Do we? Yes, we want Oxford in that one. because we are, of course, a point out of those playoff spots, and Forest Green is occupying that 6th place one. QPR is then at home against Portsmouth. Again, I believe QPR has just come down this season, correct me if I'm wrong. Rotherham at home to Crewe Alexander. Salford newly promoted against, I believe, again, a newly relegated team in Wigan. And then Wycombe against Shrewsbury. But enough rambling from me. Let's crack on with this one. Let's play the opposition instructions. As you can see, we've got only 4,346 tickets sold from a 10,105 capacity. Rather disappointing, but considering their current form, I don't blame their fans for not turning up. 21st in the league, struggling. They are fighting to get out that relegation, and we are, of course, fighting in the opposite direction to try and get in those playoff spots. So, 27 degrees Celsius, calm. Let's crack on with our team selection, which, as you can see, is Prisbeck in goal today. A backline of Osu, Shipley, Adipan and Titov. We have our full strength lineup here today, ladies and gents. Our wings have Lubala and Williams, with Allen and Goss in central midfield, Pedder sitting behind Vokes, and a slightly altered bench. Now we have Adegoke on the bench, alongside Jenkinson, Jackson, Gibbs, Phillips, Chadwick and Zimbaye. So let's submit that team. As you can see, tactically it's gone down a little bit better than it did previously, I believe. Last episode the team just decided they didn't like that formation anymore and didn't want to particularly play it. But as you can see, they are going for 3 changes to their lineup. Not going to rant about that too long though. So, you know what? Punch fists. Go out there. No. I want you to pick... Yeah, exactly. Can we do it assertively? I want you to pick up where you last left off. Assertiveness. A little bit of assertiveness. Vokes, by the way, had a little bit of a rough start to that last game, but he did, of course, bounce back and eventually get himself a goal, so that's nice. But it did take the opener to sort of wake him up to then get himself on the score sheet. So, Bolton, by the way, early 3-minute penalty has got them into the lead right now, though we don't care about that. No, we care about our game. And it's going to be Sam Vokes to play it over to this right-hand side where he finds Williams. Just had to double check there if you was wondering what I was looking down at OBS to make sure it was recording, because it would have been a little interesting if I decided to start running through the commentary and doing this episode and then find that the game wasn't actually recording. So, Osu coming down left-hand side. Where would he go with this one? Oh, he's got past his man. Whips one in. Sam Vokes can't get onto it, though, as Terry nods it away. Hopefully not John. It's back out to Titov, though. Plays it across to Goss. Goss up to Pedder. Pedder, where's he going to go with this? Found Lubalo. Got an overlap in Osu. You should have continued that run, my friend. Maybe just walked it. But he's going to whip it in. Back post. Come on, Williams. Great pass by Osu. Williams pouncing in at the back post. And ladies and gents, 3rd goal of the season for Williams here on the 11th minute. Nice early start. We can relax. We can relax in this rather empty stadium where everyone can essentially have 2 or 3 seats to themselves and spread out. That's not good, though. That is not good. I don't think they like the fact that I was jubilant about that goal, and now 4 minutes later they've decided to break Osu. What's wrong with him? A foot injury. Okay, so one of their players decided to run over to him and stamp on his foot. Gotcha. That's going to be a long one. He's probably going to be out for about 3 months with that one, knowing our luck. So, sorry, Miss Jackson, but your boy is going onto the pitch. Hopefully Jackson can show what he can do here today. Kenlock is going to throw it into Broadhead. Back to Kenlock once more as they try and build down this left-hand side. It's ball over top. Adipan will intercept it, though. We, of course, missed him last time out. Probably would have won that 4-4 game if Adipan was playing, of course, but... he had to go on his under-23s international duty. But right now, Pedder, wait a minute. The defense did good to get back there. But I will say, Pedder, maybe don't try and chip it over where the defender can get back, but slide it around the keeper. You seem to have navigated your way around the edge of the goalkeeper, found a gap which you could have probably slid it in, but instead tried to go over the top. But it's okay. We'll go lead. Can't be too mad. Can't be too mad. 1-0 is just as good as a 5-0. Although 5-0, of course, a little bit more entertaining. Ball into the back. And it's pushed over the bar. Because right now I don't think goal difference is going to have a whole big effect on us. Might do in the end. Might do. But right now, our goal difference is pretty good. We've got 6 goal difference. 6 goal difference. Yep. Got to add on the goal, of course. We are up to 4th in the league, by the way. That's an interesting one. Preston's struggling at the moment, of course, newly relegated. They are down in 9th, but at the moment they are getting a win, I believe. Where is Preston? No, they're drawing against Charlton, but that is enough to push them up to 9th in the league at the moment. Bolton's managed to make it 2-0 in their game, and Huddersfield is 1-0 up against Lincoln. Oh, 2-1 in the Bolton game now, but we don't care. We want to focus on our game now. As you can see, our passing has been pretty damn good, and theirs hasn't been too bad either. Possession-wise has been decent, could do a little better on that front. And, well, our shots on target do need to improve. 5 out of 13 on target. Not a great conversion record by any means, but we've had a lot of shots so far. Things are going well, but I know you're capable of better. Exactly. Assertively. You're going well. You can do better. I believe in you. I believe in your ability. Portsmouth, by the way, 1-0 up against QPR. 1-1 in the Oxford Forest Green game. And Wimbledon is 1-0 up away to Northampton. As well as, I believe, another score down at the bottom, which just came in. But Pedder tries to nod it on. It's intercepted, and Franklin is going to play it back. So, Colchester trying to build from the back here with not John Terry. It's over to Eastham, up to Dreher. Dreher's going to try one for it. Franklin, thankfully. Allen intercepts it, but that pass was terrible, Allen. You've got to be better with your passing. Thankfully, no, he is our playmaker. Oh, no, he isn't. No, Goss. Sorry, he's not our playmaker, is he? Goss is our playmaker. I was going to say, is our playmaker, we need better than that. He was our playmaker, I believe, last season, but he swapped to that central midfielder role, simply just because he can't do the ball-winning midfielder role very well, so we'll just let him be a normal central midfielder, float around in that central area. Anyways, enough rambling. Jaden Williams, my friends, has just got himself a brace. As Lubala whips one across. Osu, of course, not able to whip it across this time, but it doesn't matter because we've got a perfectly good winger over there in Lubala who can also cross a ball or two as well. So, nice little start to this one. Nice early goal in this second half, and things are looking good. Not looking good for Bolton, though. They have just gone 3-2 down after being 2-0 up. Yes, they have effed it up. And ladies and gents, I am going to pause it whilst I read some of these because I've just realised we've gone past our usual substitution time. So Lincoln is still losing their game, 2-0 down now. Wimbledon's beaten Northampton 1-0, still 1-1 in the Oxford game. Portsmouth is 2-0 up against QPR, that's good for them. Crewe Alexander 1-0 up against Rotherham. Salford did good to get the lead in 15 minutes, but did manage to get one pulled back against them against Wigan. But even a draw against Wigan, that's a solid result for them thus far. And Wickham is currently 0-0 against Shrewsbury. But the question is, who are we taking off here today? As you can see, Prisbeck having a much better game than he did that last time out. Jenkinson is probably going to come on for... Oh, yes, I completely forgot. We had that injury. So, we've only got 2 subs to work with. Goss and Pedder are our tiredest players. We do, however, have Titov and Jackson who are struggling. So our wingback's struggling, but we do need to change out Pedder and Goss. So, Pedder and Goss. How are we going to go about this one? Goss, you know what? We'll do this. We'll go Gibbs, and you can have Chadwick. And that is the heart of our midfield that has been repaired. As we go into the... Why? Why do you have to kill my left back twice in the same match? I swear, if this is a foot injury, don't you dare be a foot injury. Don't. Lower leg. Okay, so the first guy that stomped on his foot. Next time, yeah, just slide your boots down his shin. I swear, if I get a media interview about this game, by the way, and the amount of injuries and them being aggressive, I am definitely going to mention that they was overly aggressive, because... Right, how are we going to deal with this problem? How are we going to deal with this problem? Do we have a player who can slide into centre back? Jenkinson can move across. But Jenkinson's not on, so he can't move across. Right. Well. Lubala? Who is the best midfielder I've got for tackling? That's the question. Lubala. What's your tackling like? How would you fare if I put you all the way back here, is what I want to know. Your marking is 4. Maybe don't put you back there. But your tackling is 4. Okay, so you're not going back there. Not a chance. 5 tackling, 7 marking. A little bit better. Not great. 12 tackling, 12 marking. Okay. Williams is 4 and 1. We've got some great attacking players who can't defend. Sam Vokes. You know what, Vokes? Vokes. You might be a natural defender. I don't know if anyone has told you this. You might be a natural defender. But. Okay, so that was 5 and 7. Billy, I know you're not going to like it. You're probably going to hate me for it. But I'm going to have to do it. Because we can't bring anyone on. No defenders. So. Can't really plan for a double injury, can you? Can't really plan for it. I should have probably still planned for it. But. It's just one of them unavoidable situations where you go down to 10 men. Also, I should not have stayed positive. Cautious. We're going to time waste to absolute heck. And we are going to pray. Everyone, say a prayer. I know we've got a 2-goal lead, but there's 9 minutes. And they've got a man advantage through injuring 2 of our left backs. Also, not sure what I'm going to do on that side now if these injuries are both long term, because I guess if it's long term, Adiupan or Shipley can move out to the wing. It's a rough one. Definitely a rough one to take. Right now, though, ball has been blocked. Miller will collect. Miller coming down this right-hand side for Colchester. What can he do with this bout of possession? Whips it in. Oh, come on. Please. Please, not like this, Miles. Please. I beg you. I beg you, Miles. I beg you. Thank you. That's for you, Miles. But a little harder in the end than it looked like it was going to be. But, ladies and gents, we've managed to pick up a 2-1 victory in this one. And we are, of course, heading away to Bolton in the next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully, like me, you did not enjoy the injuries that we suffered in this one. But, hopefully, in the end, it was rather entertaining. Anyways, I thank you all for joining us. I hope you all have a lovely night. And goodbye.